Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Pluto in conjunct the South Node in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. They're a little bit concise. Some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do is make another series on them, in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is if you have Pluto in conjunct the South Node in the natal chart, one way it may manifest is that an adjustment, which is the inconjunct, may be needed between things involving what you have a passion and desire for, which is Pluto, and what you're naturally proficient in, which is the South Node. One or the other may be overemphasized. The key is to find balance and equilibrium between the two. So if you have, let's say, it could either be, where you're dominated, by, the things you have a strong passion and desire for, to the expense of the things that you're naturally proficient in, or it could be the other way around. The things, activities involving what you're naturally proficient in may monopolize your time and energy to the expense of, the things you have the passion and desire for. So, it's about finding the balance and the equilibrium and the harmony with the energy, because you could have a lot of vacillation and fluctuation of energy within conjunct aspects. It could be very extreme energy. And let's say if you have the South Node in Virgo as an example, what you may, be naturally proficient in are things involving, analysis, diagnosis, compartmentalizing, cleaning, sanitizing. It could be doing something with health and fitness, or data entry, or extrapolating or compiling data, as some examples. Now, another thing too is that there may be an imbalance, which is the inconjunct between activities with intimate connections and those are in shared resources situations, which is Pluto, and those that figure prominently in your past, which is the South Node. You may be dominated by one or the other. So the thing about this is you can, it can be where, the activities with the intimate connections and those are in shared resources situations which may monopolize your time and energy to the expense of those that, play an integral role in your past, or it could be the other way around, those that figure prominently in your past. Those activities may monopolize your time and energy to the expense of, those that you're in intimate connections with and shared resources situations with. So let's say, if the South Node is in Aries as an example, one or more of those people that figure prominently in your past may actually be an Aries Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be those that are aggressive, assertive, ardent, combative, courageous, forceful, fearless. Can be those that are not readily discouraged, but at the same time can be rather impulsive, impatient, and impetuous as well. And also, too, you may have too much or too little passion, desire, and emotional intensity, which is Pluto connected with matters that you're naturally proficient in, which is the South Node. So there may be times when you have an exorbitant amount of passion, desire, and emotional intensity, which is Pluto. Connected with, the matters, things that you're naturally good at, and then other times you just may not have any whatsoever. So again, it could be a lot of vacillation, fluctuation with that energy. If the South Node is in Libra, as an example, those things that you're naturally proficient and good at, may be tied in with art, music. It could be negotiation, arbitration, balancing things. It could be maybe even balance, activities or sports, whether it be tennis, gymnastics, or Jenga, as some examples. If the South Node is in Scorpio, things you're naturally proficient in, maybe locksmithing, psychology, investigation, forensics, embalming, deep research. It could be doing something with insurance or taxes or recycling or transformation, empowering others, transforming others, as some examples. And also, too, another way Pluto in conjunct the South Node may be expressed in a natal chart is that you may at times be extremely passionate, which is Pluto, in doing things connected with those natural built-in abilities, which is the South Node. Then other times you just may be apathetic in those matters. So you just can have a lot of fluctuation in that energy there. You may at times express an exorbitant amount of passion in matters connected with your natural built-in abilities, and other times again you may be apathetic and have no passion or emotion in those matters. So again, it's about finding the balance, the equilibrium, the harmony with that energy. The South Node, is in Aquarius as an example. Those natural built-in abilities may be tied in with humanitarian, altruistic endeavors, and maybe doing something associated with astrology, computers, electronics, innovation, aviation, meteorology, or even rocket science in some cases. Now, another thing about this aspect is that issues that are associated with power and control, which is Pluto, may be things you have either tremendous ease or difficulty in terms of getting away from, which is the South Node. Now, if you have, say, Pluto in the 4th house as an example, there may be some issues with power and control that are over home and family-related matters. It could be power struggles with those in your home, your family life. It could be, those you're close to home with. Pluto in the 3rd house can indicate, issues of power and control with neighbors, or it could be with siblings or cousins, or even those that figured prominently in your early education. Now, and again, there may be times, you may have, those issues with power and control. You may find it very easy, to extricate yourself from, to get away from them. Other times it may be an arduous task trying to do so. And also, too, Pluto-related people may either be very advantageous or no help whatsoever in what you are, attempting to go away from, which is the South Node. And Pluto-related people can cover, a number of persons. Whether it be those who are in shared resources situations, it could be intimate connections, it may be, people that are involved in support, whether it's moral, emotional, or monetary support. It could be those in Pluto-related fields, whether it's those in insurance, recycling, surgeons, coroners, people in locksmithing, or those involved in the occult, which includes astrology. Now, let's say if you have, the South Node and, excuse me, the South Node in Capricorn as an example, what you're going away from, it could be, maybe some issues with authority or being overly authoritative in matters, or, being completely dominated by career-related endeavors. It could be very cold, callous, undemonstrative type characteristics. Being overly, consistent, conventional in matters. And also, another way Pluto in conjunct the South Node may manifest in a natal chart is that transformation, control, power, and rebirth, which is Pluto, may either be attained with much ease or difficulty in that first half of life, which is the South Node. Now, if you have the South Node in Taurus as an example, that first half of life may be one in which you emphasize a lot of self-reliance, and, making your own money, accumulating possessions. It may be matters with values and attaining greater, self-worth. It may be doing something Taurus related, whether it be geology, carpet laying, agriculture, architecture, gardening, cultivation, banking, finance, It could be, doing something, work as a pawnbroker, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Root saying stay well.